Yeah, well, we can talk about that now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cold emailing and well, it sort of ties into breaking into data science because one of the strategies where you could use to get a job. But you're very outspoken as to not going through job boards and actually use unconventional methods to actually reach to either employers and
Yeah.
CEOs. Could you elaborate more on that? As in, what's been your experience and what can you give in terms of advice?
For sure. I'm a huge fan about sending cold emails, meaning sending emails to people you don't know. So much so that I put a whole chapter in the book. I think it's chapter 3 on cold emails. When you say using unconventional techniques, one funny thing, and this is just me nitpicking, actually in the sales and recruiting world, sending emails to people you don't know, that's not unconventional. That's the job. That's like salespeople reach out to people they don't know all day long. Recruiters send in-mails to folks all day long that they don't know. So it's almost like conventional in certain worlds, but most job seekers don't know that they can flip it around. If recruiters can send unsolicited email to you, you can send emails to recruiters. It's not that hard, right? So I'm a big fan of that, partly because with the proliferation of like job boards like Indeed and Monster and LinkedIn, you got a lot of folks applying for the same positions. And what's the barrier to entry? Well, you just have to drop your resume in there in like one click sometimes even. LinkedIn has like a one click apply. Now, if you've got a PhD from a top school and a bunch of research and you've worked at FANG, fine, you're okay. But if you're like the rest of us who don't have that, applying in that same pool, you're going to get filtered out. No one's going to look at you because they have to look through 300. And if you just like don't fit the mold, just even slightly, they're not going to look at you. Now, if you send an email to that hiring manager, you send a DM to that hiring manager on LinkedIn or even on Twitter, it doesn't matter how you reach out to them. And you let them know like, hey, I'm not just spraying and praying. This is not just a random reach out. Hey, Richmond, I saw you're a computer vision engineer. I made a computer vision project using Keras that did blah, blah, blah. I'm really interested in your company because you're doing stuff in, let's say, healthcare. I want to work for you. Do you have any open positions on your team? You showed you actually know that they do computer vision. You showed that you had a project that was relevant. That's how you stand out and really get around this whole filtering mess where you just get filtered on keywords or based on the school you go to.
Then you mentioned that it's chapter 3 in your book, and damn, I gotta say, I read the first 4 chapters in your book, and I didn't think I was just reading it just to get like a beat on you, just to get a bit of background. And in 4 chapters, I took about 8 key takeaways that actually.
Love that.
And one of it was, I'm not gonna say the name, but I actually use your cold email. You actually have examples of cold emails in the book that you've used. And I took the same structure and I use it to reach out to a prominent person within AI and machine learning, someone that everyone within the space knows. And I got a response back and I was like, damn, this actually works. Like
Yep.
it was so amazing. Something I just got out of a book, implemented it, couple hours, you get the result back. So guys, cold emailing works. And this book is just filled with so much gems that they seem obvious. And like you said, they're obvious to other people in other industry, but to technical folks like us, they're not that obvious. And you provide very good examples that people could just steal ineffectively.
Yeah.
You have your resume there and you have the code emails there. What else do you?